Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put together this freebie. And I want to, while the box is still flat, I want to begin by gluing these little petals into these little guides that we have here. So we're going to we'll have two that are cut out that are part of the design here, and then two that we're going to put on manually. Okay, and I do want to ink these a little bit. I have my favorite ink here. It's a pumpkin spice color, and I think it'll look nice on this yellow here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a really light inking on this, just to kind of jazz it up a little bit. Okay, so that is optional, obviously. You don't have to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm not going to bore you with that, but this piece as well, you may just want to add a little bit of ink to it just to kind of make those edges kind of stand out a little bit so everything's not so monotonous and boring. But if you have some really cool papers, you may not even need to ink. I'm just using solid cardstock here, so I want to kind of give this a little bit of pizzazz. Okay, so get that inked and get all these ready, and then we can go ahead and I'll show you where everything else is going to go. So when the box is completely assembled, the idea is for these petals here to create a little flower. Okay, so these actually will go and get glued like so. So if you're using AC cardstock and you've got your smooth side, it's going to go on the smooth side. Okay, so you want to get all four of those glued into place. You're also going to want to glue that little section down too. Okay, so we can go ahead and get those glued down now. All you want to do is just get a little bit of glue on these little petal pieces, and also a little bit of glue on that inside area. Okay, and again, you're gluing it to the, not this side here, but the other side, the inside of this. Okay, so just line that up nicely and push that down. You probably want to glue it while it's bent. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to repeat that process 3 more times to get those on. I'm going to get these petals inked, and then we'll go ahead and walk through the placement of those. It's really simple, but just want to make sure that you get it all. So you can go ahead and put these petals on. I'm going to get my other petals inked, and then we'll go ahead and put this thing together. Okay, so I have all my little pieces inked here, and again, this is pretty straightforward, but I just want to make sure that we leave nothing uncovered here. You'll see here that we have the cutouts, and then there's 2 little half circles, half ellipses, whatever you want to call them, right next to them. And that's basically a little guide to show you where the little petals go. So I'm grabbing my little pick-me-up tool, and it's a really handy little tool that I use when I'm working with small little pieces. I'm just going to go ahead and just put a little dot right in the center of that thing and kind of smush it down a little bit, and just use that to line everything up and get it in place. There we go. So just real simple, real quick. Don't need to put a whole ton of glue on these little pieces as they're not all that large. And again, just kind of use that little guide to help you center that thing properly and go through that process here. It does look really nice inked with that pumpkin spice ink that I have there. It's really cool. Okay, so just get that inked. This is real simple. I like doing the videos for the freebies, even though they're simple, because especially for beginners that are new to Dreaming Tree, I just want to give you guys the full experience. Many of our veterans could probably pick this up and not even watch the video and get it assembled. Occasionally you have some questions or whatever, and it's just nice to have a little video to walk you through the process and just give you that confidence that you can pretty much do any of our projects, especially because you've got a step-by-step video that you can watch to help you. Okay, so we'll just get that in place. I've got one left here, and then we can go ahead and begin putting this thing together, which will go together really easily. Get that in place. That's good. Okay, cool. All right, so that is done. I can get rid of this. I can put my pick-me-up tool away. I'm done with that. Okay, so all we're doing is we're going to glue these 4 tabs together to create our little box. So I'm going to start by putting glue on one of the tabs here. Just real simple, real light. And I'm sure that many of you that watch us on a weekly or bi-weekly basis are probably getting tired of me telling you to get that glue out to the edge, but it is important because it makes everything look really nice. So we're just going to connect that side to that side. I'm going to put this flat on my table so I can add extra pressure and make it dry quicker. And then I'm just going to move on to the next tab here. Get a nice line of glue on there and work that out. This is kind of a continuation of in a previous video, I'd mentioned that I got yelled at for, well, after I rub the glue with my finger, I just kind of smear it under my table because sometimes I don't bring a rag out with me, and someone caught that. And I mentioned that I got yelled at in a video, but I think, sorry, I forgot your name. She thought I was serious, that like I felt like she yelled at me, but I was totally just joking around. And that was, I meant that lovingly. And I should get yelled at. My mom says I'm crazy, so you guys might need to whip me into shape sometimes here. Okay, so you see what I'm doing here? I'm just kind of connecting one side to the next side. I'm going to put this down on its side so I can push down. Okay, probably not going to be able to push down this last one, and that's okay. And I may not be able to get glue all the way along that unless I grab like a razor blade or something to kind of help me get it out to that little corner. And I've been using a lot of masculine tools when I craft. Ron kind of gave me crap the other day, not the other day, but a little while ago, because I was using a screwdriver as a dowel to shape some flowers, and that is definitely a little unconventional, but I was just trying to be resourceful. And anyway, so that's what our box is looking like right now, okay? And then we've got this piece here. It's just a little liner piece to kind of strengthen the inside. So I'm just gonna put a little light bit of glue in there, not too much. I don't want it to warp. And then just pop that right in, push down, okay? And these tabs here, we're not gluing these tabs. These are just to kind of keep this thing closed more. If we glued it, then you wouldn't be able to open the box. Okay, but this is kind of how it goes together. Okay, we're not gluing it, but on one of these petals here, you'll notice that there's a little guide on there. Okay, and that guide is for this little flower here. So what we're going to do is, or not flower, that's a little stamen piece. We're going to put a little bit of glue on the inside area of where those guides are, and then we're going to line this up with those guides and just glue that in place like that. Just kind of hold that for a second while it dries. Okay, and then the idea is to close this up and get that main flower. Let me pull this back a little bit. That little stamen piece to be centered on our little flower here to create this little flower effect on top. So that's really cute. And basically, and I might say basically a lot, I'm sorry. Finally, I'm gonna go ahead and just get a little ribbon and just tie that around to close your box. Okay, so just do it gently, making sure that all those little side tabs are in place. Okay, and you can kind of prop that into place like that. Okay, and you can tie a little bow. Make it as big or as small as you want. Probably going a little too nutty here with the size on this thing. It's okay, you can always fix it. So I'm just gonna tie it off. Just kind of push that down a little bit, and then I'm gonna bring these little tails in until I get it to the size that I want. Just like that. Super cute box, huh? Really cute box, actually. And then just gonna go ahead and trim this off. I'm gonna find my fabric scissors. I think that's probably good there, and probably good there. And then I'm going to, let me bring that in a little bit more. Maybe a little less, right about there. It's kind of hanging way too long. Okay, so that's about right. And then I'm gonna go ahead and bring these down a tad. So they're kind of in the middle of my bow. Give it a good cut there. Oh, there we go. And that did not come out very well. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it at an angle because this ribbon is really small and a little hard to cut. So I'm just gonna cut it at an angle and call it a day. And there we go, super cute.
Stay on top of all things Dreaming Tree and engage with us today. Get the latest news and enter in our giveaways on Facebook. Get inspired by following us on Pinterest. Be the first to see our new product launches on Instagram. Do you prefer Twitter? Yep, we're there too. Watch our beautiful product trailers and assembly tutorials on YouTube. For more information, visit www.3dsvg.com. Live, craft, love, and dream.